tortured or likely to be tortured, he will not be extradited. After September 11, when Hamza's extradition was asked by United States, materials were placed before the court, showing how the co-accused were tortured to make statements. It's there on the records. And what is the reply of the House of Lords in this case? You will be surprised to hear. The reply is, the American Constitution guarantees a fair trial. As if in India there is no Article 14, there is no Article 21 guaranteeing a fair trial. That is why it is very good to tell others. When it comes to yourself, then tell us the right law. Unfortunately, we pick up what they say without realizing where the truth lies, and think whatever is happening in India is wrong and whatever is happening in the West is right. And that's why we don't even know that there is a book called Supreme Injustice, which is a scathing attack on the Supreme Court and the judiciary of the United States, which relates to the election of Bush vis-a-vis that Al Gore. Read that book, because that accomplishing that author has written there, that it's very difficult to say which one of the two had actually won the election. But the loser in the cases can be very easily identified, and the loser is the institution of judiciary. So it has lost the credibility. Such strong words. But see the resilience of the institution. No contempt proceeding. That resilience we don't have. That strength of character we don't have. How can anybody criticize me? I am so and so minister. We don't realize, if you read, I think I still have 5 minutes if this watch is going correctly. 9 minutes. Lord Denning has written in one of his books, during the World War, when Churchill was the Prime Minister, there was complete censorship of the news. You know what is called censorship of the news? That means even the radios you could not have heard, the radio of, say, for instance, Japan or Italy or Germans. And he writes that we used to be in great confusion, because if the English, the radio of the UK government will say that we have shot down 10 aircrafts of Japan. Somewhere in Germany or Japan they will say, no, we have shot down 20 aircrafts. So he said, we used to be uncertain and confused, all the time afraid as to what is really happening. He says English people used to wait, and wait very anxiously for Churchill to speak in Parliament, because while speaking in Parliament as a Prime Minister, he could not have lied. Mind you, it's a nation where the sun does not set. If it set in Australia, it rose in Arunachal. And there the whole nation is watching to the words of one man, that he is our Prime Minister. When he will speak in the Parliament, he will not be able to lie. He will have to tell us the truth where we really stand in the war. Do we have, I am not talking about the Prime Minister, but do we have the same kind of confidence in our elected representatives? The answer I will not give, the answer is for you all to give. There lies the difference of character. We insist and emphasize on character building, but we have to have that kind of role model. because during Churchill's time some allegations were made against him, and the man was ordered for parliamentary privilege. So it was asked why they did not have made this statement. Churchill's reply was very interesting. He said, no, he had every right to make that statement, but he was leaking out the state secret that our Prime Minister is like this. Sorry. So the mechanism of law which fails is the cause of the disruption of the human society. That mechanism has to function. And that can be demonstrated by three organs which are very important. One is the police station, second is the civil hospitals, and the third is the court. If my daughter had any problem in UK, my advice to her was that if you have any problem, go to the police. Do you think I will be able to tell her that in India, to go to the police station? One old blind man was taken by his nephew to a particular court. I will not name the court. And everybody was pushing him around, you go this side, that side. Then you know what that old man asked the nephew? He asked, by any chance have you not brought me to a police station? That's our conduct in the court. So given a choice, nobody will go to police. Whereas they should have felt very confident and safe at the hands of the police. Where is the institution? Civil hospital, where the doctors were supposed to be God. Nurses were night angels, or it is supposedly night angels. Nobody wants to go there. Given a choice, will never go there. Court, people will take pride. I have never gone to court. We say so many cases are pending. Don't we realize more than 1 crore cases are instituted in India? We try ways and means, alternative dispute resolution, arbitration, conciliation, so on and so forth. Why? So the number of litigations decrease. Is it a good sign? Is institution of a case is a bad sign? It shows that people still have some kind of confidence in the court. And you say, don't come to us. Solve your problem somewhere else. We don't know if you go into the studies, forget about the Western countries, even in a place like Singapore, population-wise, civil litigations are far more, many hundred times more than what happens in India. And that is why you will have more cases, litigations in Kerala compared to other states like UP. Because it is the civil dispute which gives the index of the civilized society, not the crimes. Because of the fact that the people know if I file a case, I will not get the relief or the order. At least during my lifetime, maybe my son will get it or his grandson will get it. So they don't go to the court. Is it a good sign? So docket exclusion, I am sorry, is not the right thing to do. But we are finding out the ways and means to do it. One of them was, of course, the plea bargaining. Since there is no time, I would not speak on that subject. Because unfortunately, we are trying to apply the same law which is there in United States or UK without realizing that our laws are different. As a youngster, as a student, I read a book called The Wall Has Two Sides. And plea bargaining is a subject which, if you allow me to say, I'll have it has two sides. Because I have myself seen in UK. They're just saying, no, this is available to you today, tomorrow, this will not be available to you, or may not be available to you. That means you will be given a reduced sentence. We don't realize that in the CRPC, a particular high court took credit for holding Lok Adalat on plea bargaining, when plea bargaining was introduced in the statute. That in Tihar jail we held Lok Adalat and disposed of so many hundreds of cases. I asked under what law? Because if you look into the provisions of the plea bargaining, it very clearly says that application has to be made by the accused. And just like a confession, whether it is voluntary or not, the magistrate has to be satisfied that the accused has made it voluntarily, not being influenced by the state or by a lawyer. Whereas in America, it is possible even for the prosecution to offer plea bargaining. India is not that concept, because there were two judgments, one given by Bhagwati, the other given by Krishna here, which said that no, this plea bargaining is there in the Western countries, but it is not in our country. We forget what we did, because if you read the Law Commission report, it had suggested that there should be so much power given to the magistrate to go for plea bargaining. But in the legislation, it did not find place, meaning thereby that no legislature did not agree that you will not have the power. It will be entirely voluntary for the accused. If he says, yes, you have a right as a legal service of authority to make him know that this is your right, whether he asks for it or not. It's not there. Because in India, what we do is that every case which is registered, after investigation, whether it's the final report where there is no material found or a charge sheet where material found is laid bare before the magistrate, and he is the one who gives the final order. But in UK you will not find it. They say we will bring only those cases before the court where we have a reasonable assurance of conviction. So all cases don't go for trial, because it is the public time. And that's why if you plead not guilty and waste the time of the court, cost is imposed. We don't have that system. But there has to be enforcement of law. And for that, I would say the capacity to visualize the danger to human rights is necessary. I will, with the permission of the principal, if it is all right, I'll take 5 minutes and give you one last example. Finally. There was a girl, very unfortunate. The first misfortune was that she was born in a very, very poor family. The father was a day laborer. Mother used to work used to be a domestic helper, as we call them, as domestic servants. The second crime which she might have committed was that she was very charming to look at. Third crime, she was blind. Now it was her younger sister who used to hold her hand and take her around in the village and the nearby area, seeking alms, and whatever one gives, whether it is rice or it is money or it is pulses, anything, they used to collect and bring home. In that particular area, there was a contractor, very established man, very influent. Supposing his name was X. I think his name was Ijaz or something. One day she was passing through his house along with her sister. The woman who used to work in the house of his as a maid and lived there in his house with his mother, with her mother. She was standing there, she called them to give something. So this blind girl was taken inside, made to sit in the kitchen. And this woman who had brought, she said, let me fetch some water for you. The younger sister started playing with the other children in the courtyard. This maid servant was found going out of the house with a pitcher in her hand to bring water, never seen coming back. In the meanwhile, this girl was sitting on the floor of the kitchen, heard somebody bolting the door. She became alert and got up. She said, who is it? The reply was, shh, I am Aziz. Then she started pleading that please allow me to go. He came and caught hold of her. She said, it's your all, you are a very respectable man. I will be completely dishonored. I please have mercy on me. And started pleading, as one would expect a girl in this situation to plead. But he overpowered her because she gagged her and committed rape on her, according to her allegation. And then left. Children playing outside in the courtyard, just like this woman, they heard somebody sobbing. So they came inside, and they found this girl crying, weeping. So everybody started asking what had happened. She did not reply. She only told her husband, her sister, take me home. She was brought home. And in the evening, mother arrived. She told the mother, this has happened. The mother didn't know what to do. But this is not in our society to accept sexual assault on a girl. And that too, a girl of this kind, that she is blind. So they waited for the father to arrive, who came after 2-3 days.